We are live. It's happening, party people. Dr. Steve Perry. You are tuned in to No Dumb Questions. That's No Dumb Questions, spelled K-N-O-W. I'm an educator, father, husband. But tonight, what I really am is I get to talk to my boys. You get to see what we do at the cookout. This is what it is all about. You get to see us do what we do unfiltered. I cannot guarantee you that somebody ain't going to say something slick, because this is cookout conversation. This is our brothers get together. We have conversations about what matters to us, what's in the news. What did y'all talk about during the 4th of July? You probably weren't talking about whether or not black people were free or not. You probably were talking about some of the topics we're going to talk about tonight. So we are going to have ourselves a fantastic conversation, because I have the great pleasure of welcoming really friends and family. What's dope about this is familiarity. There not only are there no dumb questions tonight, but I don't think there'll be much of a filter, which is super cool. I'm going to bring up first my main man, who, you know, some people will call him Tommy because they wonder, what do you do for a living? Like, where do you work, brother? But he's got so many jobs. He's such a fantastic dude. Name is June Archer. Brother June gonna join us. Look at that. See, you can't have these pretty dudes on the damn thing, because then they mess you up. Like, I told your black ass to come casual, and then look at this. You got the gold records behind you. No, casual. Not casual. This is not. This is the opposite of casual. This is complete opposite of casual. And then you got to have the gold and the platinum records behind them. And I got a book and some stuff I got from Home Goods to make my garage look like a studio. See, this is a great look.
That's a great look, though. That's a great look.
Do not patronize me. That is not necessary. It's not a great look. I don't have gold and platinum records behind me. What those records represent? Whose records?
Not yet. Not yet. You don't have them yet.
Not ever. Not ever. That's not gonna happen. Whose records are those behind you?
Let's see. We got Room Service back there. We got Jay-Z, American Gangster. We got Get Rich or Die Trying, and then we got Omarion, and then Mario. Yeah, it's a few.
Braid My Hair Mario? Which Mario you have?
Yeah, Braid My Hair Mario and Omarion. Nice. That's Omarion. Yeah, Mario. Nice. Yeah.
So what role did you play? I know, but what role did you play in making those things happen?
Well, for those who don't know, I'm the dot connector. So for me, I'm like that Puff Daddy guy. I get the writers together with the producers, come up with the records, and then I go to either the artist or the artist manager or the A&R, and I sell the record. And when I say sell it, I mean, I give you all the bells and whistles, tell you it's supposed to be hot, tell you that it is hot. You cut the check, we put it on the album, and then we pray that we get a couple of those.
It turns into platinum. Now, one of the things that to me is cool is it's not just the record stuff that you do. You do other things. Talk about some other projects you're involved in.
Well, one of the things, man, that people don't know, like I started out as a recording artist and then in a boy band. As I mentioned, Room Service, and I became an executive. I had the opportunity and the blessing to work with young artists like Chris Brown, Mario, and Omarion, giving them pretty much artist development, coming from a recording artist standpoint and an executive standpoint, giving them the best of both worlds to kind of groom them as young artists as they got into the game. And then from there, man, I just became an author. You inspired that, motivational teacher. And I stress the teacher piece because motivational speakers, they just speak at you. They get you excited when you go home and people tell you, man, you ain't ish, or you know where you live at, and you know you ain't never gonna, you kind of forget about what you were inspired and motivated to do. But what I do is I teach you all those things that will combat some of the negativity, whether it's family, friends, spouses, your homeboys, your homegirls, to tell you how to combat those things that you've been taught so that you can continue on your path to greatness, to fulfilling your dreams. I'm also a television producer and TV host and personality. I'm just now, as I was getting ready for you. I'm sitting here reading all of my show notes, getting ready to do the interviews for the third installment of Power, Raising Canaan. So, that guy, he expects perfection. He works hard. That guy by the name of Curtis 50 Cent Jackson. So I'm just, getting myself ready to interview, some of the young cast and some of the legendary guys like Omar Epps. I'm excited to have the opportunity to interview him tomorrow. So I do a plethora of things, man, but mainly, man,
I told you it's timing. It's timing.
Yeah, listen, I'm a Renaissance man. I love this role, Dr. Perry, because here it is, what I've learned over the past couple of years, and I want people to get. You do it. I do it. People are afraid to do it because they're afraid of what people are going to say and what people are going to think. But we need to start walking in our dopeness. It doesn't matter what it is that you do, right? Whatever magic that you make happen, walk in that dopeness, own that. So when people say, "Man, what do you do?" Well, I do a lot. Like, tell me what it is that you want to know about what I do today. And I can start there. But one of the things I've learned is I do whatever it takes. That's what I do.
Well, that's what it is. I'm gonna pull my cousin G up. Cousin G.
Yes, sir.
You can't keep having all these pretty jokers up here because look at this. Now, if I would look naked. People think he ain't got no clothes on, but this brother wears it, and then he looks sharp. My cousin G. One reason why it's important to have my cousin G and my main man June on is because I've known these brothers all my life, literally. And so often, what happens is when we have conversations, like the kind of conversations that we have, like at the cookout, like right over there, many times women don't get to hear it. You guys don't get to hear us being us, just us in our truest space. You wouldn't know that G has 2 children, both of whom have been to college. That G's oftentimes been the guy behind the scenes making it possible that for me to make it to where I need to make it. He says he's security, but
yeah.
I usually end up having to secure him, as you like, bro. Like, but to your point, brother June, when I said I needed somebody to ride with me down to DC, to sell books out of the back of my truck, when no one but you guys knew who I was, G said, "I'll go with you." And we took the 6-hour drive down to Howard University. I sold books for 45 minutes there because that's the only spot I could get. And then we spent the rest of the day literally walking the streets of Washington, D.C., selling books out of backpacks. And at the end of the night, I promised G that I would get him some Popeyes. So we finished the night at Popeye. And then because I didn't have the money to stay down there, got back in the car, drove 6 hours, come back. That's that hustle, right?
Yes, sir.
But that's the brother thing. That's what we do. One of the things you guys wouldn't know about G, and I'll let him talk a bit more about it, is that he too used to be on television in a show called, what was the show?
Rescue Inc. Can
you talk a bit about that?
Well, it was a rescue group out of Long Island, New York. And what we would do is we'd go out and rescue animals. People would call us and we'd show up at their door when they had problems with their neighbors or whatever. We go and we shut them down. It was a biker group. What it was a biker group that rescued animals. It was on the National Geographic show. We had 6 episodes, and the show got canceled, but it was worth what we were doing was worthwhile for a while, but it got canceled.
There it is. So let's get to it. Bonnets or no bonnets?
No bonnets.
No bonnets? Why not? It's just an expression of themselves, right? It's just like a do-rag. Why can't they wear it out?
It's old and tired, man.
But you fly a lot. You don't think it's right for the sisters to walk around with the bonnet and the baby doll tee and the short shorts and the what they call those slippers?
Now here's the thing. We're in an era right now. We're in a generation where we're reimagining a lot of things, right? And you are your calling card. You are your business card. You are your resume. You are your electronic press kit, however you want to term it. We have to put our best foot forward because when people look at us different, and not that we can't walk in our dopeness and we can't be authentically black and brown. I'm not saying that, but there's a time and a place for everything, right? It's different when you're around the house and your sweatpants are falling off your backside, and you're home and you're reaching for something, and your wife is like, pull your pants up. There's a difference between doing that and you're out on the street and she has to say the same thing to you. There's a time and a place for everything. And for my sisters, I get it. You guys got to get your head down, but there's a way to make it look more presentable, real sexy, real fly. We are people who are very creative. So let's get creative and let's be presentable, not only to the world, but to ourselves, because we owe it to our young people for them to understand what it is like to go out and, one, put a belt around our waist, make sure our pants are around our waist. We know the difference between a sneaker and a hard bottom shoe. And we have to expect the same thing for our young girls. For me, I have a daughter, so I have to make sure. I don't even have to tell my wife. She herself holds herself accountable and say, hey, this is inappropriate to wear. And hey, when you get to this age, what do you, and she makes her, allow her to be accountable. Like, Mama, what do you think about this outfit? Right? So she's getting to the mindset of this is not appropriate. So I have to agree with G, because certain things just aren't appropriate.
G, why not? You got a daughter.
Well,
you want to come out there in a bonnet?
No way. You know, it's like this. If I walk out of the house and my head ain't shaved good and I got that George Jefferson going, I'm going to get talked about like a yard dog. So, you know, I'm not going to, unless I got a hat on, you know, and it's one of them 7 days of work, 16 hours shifts, you know what I'm saying? I might grow a little bit of something, but I'm gonna have a hat on. You shouldn't walk. I mean, it's getting old, man. That stuff's getting old. You know, it's one of the things everybody want to run into Walmart. You know, that's what they say. That's where you see it mostly at running to Walmart, but they take it to another level. Every time you see them, they walking out of the house. Like, give it up, man.
You think we embarrassed anymore as black people? Like, because Jay, you know, that if grandma saw somebody coming out, like, it just wouldn't happen. Yeah. Like, if one of our girl cousins was talking about going up out the house with pajamas on, with slippers, what would grandma do?
She would stop him at the door. It's not gonna happen. Go back in and change.
Do you think we embarrass anymore? Like, why is it controversial that somebody said put some clothes on your ass before you get out the house?
We lost all shame. We lost all shame, man. We lost all shame. We don't care. We don't care what other people think, how they think about us, what they think about us. It is what it is. But it's terrible. I don't like it at all.
Some of it is generational, though. Some of it is some of the parents who are allowing this because they're doing it themselves. So you cannot hold your child accountable if you're not doing the right thing. And when I say right thing, respectively, going out and making sure that you are presentable to the world. Because here's the thing, Dr. Perry, G, and I think you guys will agree with me. We are all a brand of something, right? Even connected here tonight. If someone saw me tomorrow and I'm out cussing and carrying on, they're going to say, oh, isn't that Dr. Perry's friend, June Archer? So when your son walks out the house, he is a Perry related to you and your wife. He is also the son of your mom, which is also a brand. And we're a brand of African-American or black or whatever they want to call us. So we are a brand of something. And when we walk out the door, we represent somebody or something. You represent Capital Prep. So when they see you on the street, not only you are Dr. Perry or you are a Perry, you are the founder of Capital Prep. And they're going to look at you and they're going to determine a couple of things based on what they see automatically when they visualize what you look like.
So, G, we just saw, because we're going to keep it going. There's no dumb questions here. You know, if when it's cookout time, the topics just come up. Cosby just got out.
Well, I believe, you know, somebody, you know, these quaaludes and drinking and all this stuff, it was the game they were playing. For the man to go to jail or prison for something he did 25 years ago, it's ridiculous. I mean, he's not the only one that's played these games. And it's sad to see this man was in jail all this time on something that happened 25 years ago that everybody was doing. Bill Cosby wasn't the only. I agree with the drugs and all that stuff. Don't get me wrong. But this is what they were doing back in the day. What they say? What was it? Sex, drug, and rock and roll? That's what it was all about.
June?
For me, here's the honest truth. I don't agree with intentionally doing something like that to someone for end result. But here's the thing. If you're going to go into an environment, i.e. hanging out with Cosby and his boys or going to the Playboy Mansion, you hear stories. You know that there's certain things. I just want to go because I want to see who's going to be in the grotto. But don't go to the Playboy Mansion thinking that you may potentially leave all your clothes on. And then when you leave with an article of clothing that come off, you clutching your pearls. You knew what it was before you got there. And if you don't think you want to do it, don't put yourself in that environment. Don't put yourself in that situation. If it looks like something that you don't want to be a part of, you have the opportunity and wherewithal to keep it moving.
But a woman says
I don't have nothing to do with this.
She just went to his crib just to talk to him. She just asked for some tea. And she ain't asked to get drugs. She just asked for some tea. She ain't think she was gonna end up laid out and naked.
That's where it's wrong. That's where it goes left. That's where it goes left. But here's the thing. If you know better, you'll do better. And knowing is half the battle. If you knew that there's a potential, if you heard rumors, then you put yourself in the environment where, hey, I want to have this conversation with you, but we're going to do it here at Starbucks. And I'm going to get my own drink.
Go ahead, G. You going to say something?
Nah, it's just the fact of, you go into somebody's house, and like I said, I don't agree with the drug thing at all myself, but you go into somebody's house and she may say he gave her the drugs and she didn't know about it, but she might have asked for it. But like I said, this is what they were doing back in the day.
Dr. Perry, let me ask you this then. Let me ask the both of you.
Okay.
How did your grandmother handle the situation when you say, hey, we're going to go over to such and such, we're going to June house? More than likely, because my mother's Jamaican, the first thing that she told me, well, the first or the second thing, one is behave yourself, act like you got some sense. And then lastly, more importantly, don't eat nothing over there. You eat before you leave or you eat when you get home.
Yeah. So, it's interesting because one of the problems because grandma used to say that all the time and, don't go over to asking people for nothing because I see that as embarrassing. But I think one of the challenges in having a conversation about what happened or didn't happen with Cosby is there's a duplicitousness that we have. There's a challenge that we have because on the one hand, not one of us wants our daughters, cousins, nieces, nephews, what have you, raped. And that ain't cool. It's not cool at all. Like, it's not cool. It's not fresh. Ain't nothing dope about it. Like, I don't get how anybody finds it attractive to give somebody drugs. Or get somebody high or give somebody drunk. I don't get that. That to me, and in full disclosure, the first person to put me on television was Bill Cosby. The first person to put me on television was Bill Cosby. So, and raised money for me in terms of our schools. So I struggle with this because to me, as the person I know, he was cool to me. To the sister who I know, who he knows, who's a pretty well-known person on television, she said that nothing like that ever happened between the two of them, and they always flew together and nothing ever. And I knew somebody else that worked with them. She said, again, for that man in particular, I have my own circumstances because for me, he was good to me. And to people I know closer, he was good to them. But 60, 70, 80 women have said something different. It's a lot of people to say the same thing. Where our challenge comes as men, as fathers, as uncles, as husbands, is we don't want to say, or let me say, I don't want to say that anyone deserves to be raped, molested, or any way done dirty. That's foul. I also want to say, if someone invites me to their hotel room, male or female, to work, I have to, as a man, I have to run that through the filter. If it's a woman, I got to ask myself, what happens if she says something happened that I don't think happened? I'm not going there. If it's a gay man, right? I go there and I say, well, I don't want to give him the wrong impression. If it's a guy who I think is straight, why can't we meet downstairs? Why can't we meet in the lobby? Why can't we get one of these little off? Like for me, and or I have to think, all right, if I'm there are potential risks. Are those risks that I wish to take? Not even to me. And again, like I'm saying, not about me being molested, raped, or what have you, or drugged, but me being seen as having done something that I did not do.
Correct.
I think there's a challenge that we have in this conversation because it never goes past the place of he's horrible or he's good. I don't think that I think that the conversation is bigger than Bill Cosby by a lot. And I think that the question that I have is, what do we tell our sons and daughters when it comes to being alone with someone, regardless of the circumstances? G, what do you tell your son or daughter?
These accusations can kill your career. Whatever you're trying to do, these accusations can kill everything. So, you have to make choices, make good choices when you do things. You don't go, like you say, you don't go to somebody's room 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. Try to see him during the day, meet up during the day. It is, if you can. But going somewhere 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, most people know what goes on after midnight.
June, we travel. G, you and I travel as well. Y'all both of you know, if you see me outside my room, I'm leaving the hotel or I'm coming in.
Yeah.
You're not gonna see me in the bar. If anyone says you saw me in the bar, you're lying. I didn't even go downstairs to pick up my food unless there was the room service stopped. I'm not going.
Yeah.
I'm not. It's just not gonna. G,
Yeah.
I'm sure the same thing with you.
Oh, most certainly. Here's the thing. I learned early. Let's keep it a buck. I was in a boy band. It doesn't get no crazier than that. And the blessing was we had a female road manager. And one of the things that we learned early on was, if you take any young lady across this threshold, past me, and they go upstairs, I can't help you. I may not know what is going to happen. I can't predict it, but once you pass this threshold, I cannot help you unless you have someone else there. And sometimes if another guy is there and a girl is there, you're still not safe, because she could say the both of them, or he sat there and he watched, and you're still guilty, even if something didn't happen. So it's important to make sure we tell our young people, Gee, I agree with you 1000%. Don't put yourself in a situation or predicament that is going to jeopardize something later on in life.
I've seen so many young boys. I saw a young man one time in one of our schools. A girl pushed him. He pushed her back. She pushed him up about the chest. She hit him like this. He did like that. The mother of the girl said that he had inappropriately touched her. I think we all want to make sure that both boys and girls are always safe.
Always.
I think we always want to make sure that nobody's ever put into a bad place, or that ever. I think we can all agree that drugging somebody just ain't cool. That's just gross. Like, that ain't cool. It ain't cool. Cool.
Yeah,
at all, especially unknowingly. It's different if
I don't even care.
You want something to drink.
But what I'm saying to you is, I'm gonna take it one step further, June. I'm gonna say, if you gotta get a drunk to get in the draws, maybe you don't belong there.
Exactly. Yeah. But you can have anybody you want. So why would you use that as an opportunity to get that end result? And I think they call it nepothy. I don't remember what the term is. But to have sex with somebody when they knocked out, that just ain't cool.
It's not cool. So I think what we're saying is that this is what I hear you guys saying is, one, none of us think it's cool. That ain't no real man move. If you do anything like that, that ain't cool. No one who would ever roll with us would be allowed to, like, if one of us hurt somebody, like, y'all, bro, you need to, you gotta go.
Absolutely not.
You gotta go. You can't roll like that.
Let me tell you something. I had a friend who made a baby, didn't take care of the child, respect the mom, and try to hang out with us. And me and my other boys were like, absolutely not. Because we don't, once again, it goes back to the brand. If they look at you and they're like, yo, this dude is a sucker, and you hanging with me, you hang with 9 broke friends, you bound to be the 10th one. You're not hanging with me. I don't want nobody talking. Nah, bro, when you handle that, then you can come chill with us. But I need to know that you're handling that, because that's wrong. Whether you put your hands on her, whether you impregnate her and you don't take care of your child, whether you're not even involved in your child, whether you're drugging somebody, all of it is just not cool. It's not about being a man at all.
Right. So in this same space, though, one of the problems that we have as men is trying to explain to the women in our lives how the young boys who they're raising are developing. It's hard. It's really hard. You know, as somebody who has sons, G, you got sons in June, like, how do you explain to the women in your life how boys, what's normal for boys? Talk to me about that, because I got a hoarse voice right now because I was hollering this morning at one of my boys and my wife all in the same house at the same time, trying to make a point that I don't feel like I should have to holler to make.
Oh,
but there's no norm, though. There's no norm anymore. Listen, these young kids, male and female, they're different. They built different. They operate different. Something totally different about them. And we have to learn on the go. There's never been a manual, but by golly gee, they're definitely in the manual for this generation. These boys, I don't know what they're doing, how they're doing. Everything is tight. Everything is short. Everything's hanging off their butt. I don't know how to do it, but to be an example, right? And there's a time and a place for everything. We have to make sure that we have men that look like them, that can show them the way, because this world is a cruel world. They will chew you up and spit you out. And if our young black and brown boys are not prepared, if they even look funny, they gonna get it. And I struggle with talking to my wife about it, because even it took a while for her to even understand she had a black son. And I say that.
Talk about that. No, talk about that though, because G, I know you know the same thing. Talk about that, because you both got black wives. That sounds crazy what you just said right there. That you have crazy your wife, that she got a black son. What's that mean?
I think one of the problems is as men who came from nothing, we got our kids spoiled rotten. They are spoiled rotten, man.
Please.
And you know, you try to give them everything
tonight. You try
to give them everything you didn't have and 10 times more. But dude, we're messing them up. We're messing our kids up because, you know, we're giving them everything and they ain't got to work for nothing.
No.
You got 20, 21-year-old. You gonna take the garbage out, bro? You know what I'm saying? When we were coming up, you already knew what had to be done. We all had chores in the house. They don't even get chores.
But mine get chores, G. Mine get chores. I'm doing a little different. But to your point, though, G. Growing up, and I'm talking about, I had a job in height. I was picking tobacco. I was working as a cleaner. My mother never. This is the difference between us. This is where we're failing our kids, and we can't talk about them too bad when we are part of the problem and not the solution. My mother never paid for my beeper bill. She never paid for my cell phone.
You said beeper, y'all. You said beeper.
Yeah, I did. I'm showing my age.
Okay.
But we are buying these kids $700-800 phones and putting them on our plans, and they expect when they lose it or something happens to it, they crack a screen. They're looking at us like, "So you're gonna get that fixed, right?" Oh man, Steve got a new one. G got a new thing. You got the updated joint.
So y'all would, and I want to keep 100, because what I never want to do is present myself as some sort of parenting expert, because we all parents are trying to figure this mess out. And let me say, I'm not lying. My voice is hoarse because I was hollering this morning, and I am not lying to you, simply because of these similar reasons. You, June, says something I want to go back to. You had to explain to your wife that she's got a black son. That's a real thing. That's a real thing, because I don't know about you, but I can tell you, I've seen too many sorry dudes, too many sorry black dudes, too many, whether I know them as friends or I've been related to them, cats who ain't handling their business. And I've seen it too many times. And when I see just the inkling of that behavior in my kids, I go bananas. And then I've seen so many moms baby their sons into oblivion. Literally, well, you got to understand, he's not feeling well. That's why he ain't taking out the trash today. Wait, he don't want to cut the grass. Doesn't want to. That's we get to, okay, bet. So we decide on what we gonna do in the house. Like, we just divvying things up. Talk about you having to explain to your black wife that she's got a black son.
I'm gonna take it back though. I'm gonna take it back. When this whole Trayvon Martin, Mike Brown situation happened, I'm at an event in my village, and I'm introducing my son. It's Memorial Day weekend, and they're celebrating. He's Boy Scouts, and I'm going to the chief, and I'm introducing him to the chief, introducing him to this detective I had met in town. I'm introducing him to this officer, and of course, you know my wife, Steve. Yeah. She's like, June, what you do? You doing too much. You always want to talk to somebody. You always trying to. I want that in the event, because he got 5 boys that he hangs out with, 4 boys that he hangs out with, and they all not men of color. He's the only man of color in this group. My hope was in that moment that you understand that he's a black boy who's going to be a black man, that if they happen to go to the store and one of the other 4 say that he stole some Skittles, that the hope was that that officer did not come to my house, or the kids didn't come to the house and say they shot Allen. Who shot Allen? The cops. Couldn't be the cops, because they all know him. Because when I introduced him to him, I didn't introduce him as Popo. I didn't introduce him as Flatfoot. I didn't introduce him as Pig. I introduced him as what their title was and what his name was. And if the hope was you bring him to my house and say, listen, Mr. Archer, I don't know what happened, but maybe he can explain it. But this is what happened. We want to make sure because we know him. And we want to have this conversation. And she didn't realize that she's been so privileged because she's fair skinned. Big on it. She didn't understand that you have a black boy. Like I'm your husband. And you see how we navigate. Steve, you navigate different than the average. You navigate different. We were raised different. These kids are raised a little differently. And they just willy-nilly out here. But when the world becomes cruel and you forget that you got a black son, I promise you, if he becomes a hashtag, you're going to remember. And that's not the memory.
G, how many times did your wife talk about how you too rough on Q?
All the time.
Tell me about it.
We battle back.
I'm telling you, that was me this morning.
We battle back and forth about him, but sometimes you win.
And the boys will play into that mess too.
But this is one thing I've learned is you gotta let them win sometimes for these small arguments, so that when something big come up, you can get the victory. Because
I haven't learned that yet, G.
Yeah, G, that's taking a high road, bro. I appreciate that, but I can't do it. I can't see it because my mother didn't do it for me, so I can't accept that, right?
What a lot of sisters don't understand, the most successful men that I know had a hard ass mother. If y'all really want to know, like people ask me all the time, I need some help raising my sons. I need to say, okay, you want to know what the real deal is? The sisters who don't play with their sons, who will get up in his chest faster than an undershirt, that kid right there,
that's the one.
Worry about. I ain't got to worry about him. It is not. This is where the big problem for a lot of sisters lies. They think, well, as long as my husband will take care of it, as long as his father will take care of it, because I've seen too many sisters say, I'll send you to your father. I'm going to send you to your father. I'm going to send you to your father. So you turn the father into Darth Vader. So all he does is grow up thinking that his father's a horrible human being because everything that goes wrong, he's got to correct. He's got to be Mr. Fix-It. He got to be the one who hurts the child's feelings, and be that person. But you want to sit there and do play with him until he's 14, and now he's saying hi to you, and now he's saying some slick things because you didn't want to correct him when he was little, because you like the fact that he told you you're beautiful, because you like the fact that he was always cuddling up to you, because you like the fact he was the perfect man, except the fact he wasn't a perfect man. He's a little boy. And now that he's becoming a man, you're starting to hear how he really feels. You're starting to see how he really thinks. And I'm saying to you, the sons that I see who are the most successful have mothers who do not play. They play 0 times.
But here's the thing, though. You can't send him to his father after you make him a victim, because guess what? The father's just trying to make up time as well. So he's not going to put the discipline him on all the time, because here's the thing. He's going to be like, I don't want to come over here no more if you're going to act like that. So you're going to buy time to say, you know what? Let me just tread lightly because I want to spend time with my son, because I'm already, and let's keep it 100. There's some women who won't allow them to see their dad anyway. So that little bit of time, because you heartbroken, because he broke your heart and you holding on to that and you hurt, you're only jeopardizing the relationship that he's trying to have with his dad. And then when you say, I can't deal with you, I'm gonna let your dad deal with you, he's not dealing with him either because he's just trying to spend time.
G, you agree?
Yeah, yeah. And the sad part too is that, you know, these women shelter these kids until they get of age. And when they start back talking to them, now they want you to come and, yo, can you straighten him out? Well, you don't let him get to where he is now. I don't know what to say.
Right.
You know,
And then what's supposed to happen? So I'm going to beat him up? Like, really, what do you want me to do?
Yeah.
You're calling me to say what? To do what?
To do what?
You
now?
Gave. And now he's expecting you to give. And you talking about he's being disrespectful to you. Disrespectful. You treated him like y'all were pals. You treated him like he was your homeboy. You asked him what he thought. You just let him decide what and when to eat, where to go, what to do, what to buy, what not to buy. He didn't even need a Christmas list. Look, let me tell you, Q. I called you Q. G. That's his son's name. Let me tell you something, G. For me, it's to the point with my sons, and this is something you were saying, June, where I asked them, "What do you want for your birthday?" And they're like,
"We got it all."
They got to make stuff up. One of them said to me, he wanted this camera. June, this camera's $2,000. I said, bruh. He said, I know it's crazy what I'm asking for. I'm just telling you, that's the only other thing I might want. And I agree.
Why is that? And why is that?
Because I grew up dirt ass poor. Because I grew up with nothing. And I got a little something now. And I want to make their life better. And I have, like so many people, man and woman, parented through some level of guilt. I want them, because I have lied to myself and led myself to believe at times that if they look around and see the ocean, and I got a bicycle behind me, I'm not even lying to you. This boy rode it once. Once.
Yeah, I'm gonna come get that. I'm gonna come get that.
And you know what? You know what?
He wouldn't even miss it.
But June, you know what's crazy about this? If I said, I'm gonna give Uncle June your bike, he'd be like, what bike? It won't even matter.
I thought you got rid of it already.
I want that bike anyway. He'd give it to you. And that's the point. Like, take it, because what we are trying to do, or what I'm trying to do, is I'm trying to parent my way through circumstances I saw. She and I saw some really fool things growing up, some really, really bad things that adults in our lives did. And because of what we saw, the way I internalize it is I never want them to want for anything. Never want them to want for anything. And as a result, I can see how that can go left. I can see how that can go too far. But I've also seen how women who we love take it even further. Like, we think, okay, we went too far. And then you look like, damn, they all the way down the road.
Yeah. You trying to buy the love. You trying to buy everything to keep them with you, that they're now running to their dad because the fear is, well, I don't even want to deal with you. I'm gonna go hang out with my dad. So I'm gonna buy you all the stuff. And I'm not saying that they're all guilty. I'm not saying that. But I know plenty of them.
Everybody's watching that you're stupid, and we don't have time to have that conversation with you.
I have plenty of them.
So
and you can't do that.
So again, this is the way we would, it would be cookout time. Should the young lady get to run or not in the Olympics?
Go ahead, G.
Rules are rules, man. Listen, man, the way I tell everybody got rules that you got to follow. You go to work late a few times, you get suspended, you lose your job. This is her job. And, we gotta stop repeating the same cycle, man. I mean, how long are we going to continue to do this? That's all we want to do. Drug, bug, and then blame somebody else. I'm sorry. Rules are rules.
Yeah, I agree with you, because there's a level of accountability, right? And I think we get away from that. And I'm not saying, I want to specifically talk about the black and brown boys who are getting killed, right? I'm not saying that every cop is a bad cop. I know cops. I got cops in my family. But we have to, as a people, say to ourselves, because I'm tired of them having the excuse, oh, well, he stole something, or he carried a gun, or he did. How about if we just stop at the stop sign because it's a stop sign, or we stop at the red light because if we just walk on the sidewalk because we shouldn't be walking in the middle of the street, we can hopefully cut down on the foolishness. Because once we get pulled over, we go on defense mode. Why you pull me over? Because I'm black? No, because you ran the stoplight.
See, and one of the problems that we have when we start having these broader conversations is what people want to do is they want to say the cops are all bad and we're all good. But in Hartford, they're murdering people at double the rate that they did last year. And that's not white cops. It's not. Not one white cop who shot those kids. None. That's us. That's kids who likely played youth football with them, played AAU basketball with them, people they know, people whose cribs they've been to, people they grew up with together. That's who's killing our kids right now. I talked to somebody. This is a true story, G. I was talking to somebody this week in Atlanta, and they said that a woman said she's afraid to get gas in her car because she saw somebody get robbed at the gas pump in Atlanta at 3:00 in the afternoon. So mind blown, right? Like, come on, man. That's the Atlanta. That's the Mecca. That's what's supposed to be. Like, that's the promised land. Like, that was supposed to be the place. And so what I'm saying to you is here, where we, at No Dumb Questions, what we do is we have conversations that go beyond the headlines, go beyond the simple either cops are all bad or all cops are good, or either this guy shouldn't have run a red light and he did run a red light, but you ain't got to kill him. Like, there's a lot that happens in between there. And I know as fathers, one of the things that we do, and I mean really do, is we have to have the nuanced conversation and have to say to our sons, look, man, I know you're going to be driving tonight. You know cops are bugging. You know there's a bunch of racist cops out there of both colors. Don't put yourself in a situation by doing something stupid. Do not have anything in that car that you ain't supposed to have in there. Obey the speed limit. That does not mean you still going to make it home alive. That I want to be clear that's not a guarantee under any circumstances. But damn it, dude, don't make it worse. Don't make it more complicated. Don't put us in a situation where you give this fool a reason to chase you down. Because don't nobody need that either. It's the nuances of the conversation. Go ahead, G. You were going to say something?
Well, I'm just thinking about, it's sad that we have to have this conversation in 2021 with our kids, but it's every day you have to do it.
Every day.
But that's why, like I said, I don't agree with the smoking of the weed, the drinking. It is what it is. People going to do what they do. But like I said, we keep repeating the same cycle. How many people? I mean, every year, what Harvard has? How many deaths, Stevie? Murders?
It's double what it is double this year from last year, this same time. Double.
So they might be.
I just want to let that sit in on a second, because we talk about like double murders, like what we're talking about is the killing of grass. Talk about somebody's entire son is dead. Their entire nephew is dead. Not like TV dead, where hop up and roll up and like get back. He's officially dead for something stupid.
Over nothing at all.
Stupid. I guarantee you, if you could get both of these fools in the same room and say, what in the hell are you even fighting about? They couldn't even tell you.
Steve, you remember back in the day, we used to fight Middletown versus Portland, Chatham Court, Westlake, all for what? Nothing at all. And we all pieced it up like, dude, what are we even fighting for? Roosevelt James said, gee, what are we fighting for? Damn if I know. Nobody.
You want to know why, G? You want to know the difference, G?
Huh?
You used to get a fair one.
Yeah.
And when you were done, you would get up, whether you won or not, whether y'all was just scrapping, and you shook hands and you kept it moving. And it was no pride and ego has gotten away now that if you beat me up, I'm gonna go pop the trunk. Because there's no way I'm gonna sit here and get beat in front of all these people and shake your hand because I'm gonna feel like I'm less than a man. But bro, you beat me.
But I'll be honest with you, man. I'll be honest with you, and G can speak to this. One of the last times I went out with a lot of cats that we grew up with, we were at there used to be a dollar movie theater, and we sat down, and there was dudes from Hartford there, and we're from Middletown, and we were there, and as soon as we sit down, it's like this. Somebody said, be ready. I was like, for what? For what? Like, I'm sitting there with I got the popcorn. I'm sitting down. All I had was $2 on me, bruh. That's all I had to my life at that point. So I spent $1 on the popcorn and $1 to get in. I'm out of dough. Like it's a wrap for me. I don't have any other money.
Yeah.
The movie's about to play, and my man sitting next to me says, "Be ready." Come on. And
For what?
And for what? For what? For what? The credits came like after the please they sit down and be quiet, blah, 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 blah. Somebody throws something. Somebody throws something back. I'm sitting there like, y'all are kidding me. Like, you can't be doing this right now. Because here's the thing, even as a high schooler, I thought I was like, yo, ain't nothing but black people in here. Y'all look so stupid right now. We all look so stupid right now. But it got out of hand. We run out. We run to everything. I was with Pooh, his brother, my cousin. And it just started getting worse and worse. Everybody runs to the cars. To your point, June, Trump started popping. We drove probably, we drove all the way to Chatham Court. We drove all the way back across Route 9, flying, trying to get there just to get back. And I thought, this is it for me, y'all.
Yeah.
I'm done. Stevie's in the house. You want to know who I am? I'm in the projects. I'm in the house. Y'all want to come see me? I'm playing Atari by my damn self. You can have it from here on out. I had to go inside because it was for me, it was too much. And almost everybody who was there that night has been to prison except for me. And I don't want that life. And I didn't want that life. And what breaks my heart, G didn't either. But besides the two of us, pretty much everybody else, I know you tonight, I remember which night I was talking about. Besides that night, besides you and I, almost everybody was there, went to prison. And here's the point I'm making. The children who we're talking about, the young people we're talking about, they came from us. Mm-hmm. This is our generation. Yeah. They ain't Martians. They didn't land on this planet, come from somewhere else. Our brothers and sisters, you know them, Brother June, you know them, G. These same people who we grew up with, we saw them in math class acting stupid. We saw them in these other places acting stupid. We saw them
in the lunchroom.
On the lunchroom, acting a damn fool. They got kids and grandkids, in some cases, great grandkids. And trust and believe they act just as stupid sometimes as the people. And we like, come on, dog. Like, why? And so the truth is that in many cases, the apple didn't fall far from the tree. These are not other people's kids, not other communities' kids. This is our community. These are our kids, and we got to do better. We got to do better. Our children deserve better, just like we want to do better than our parents. So, brothers, I genuinely thank you. They've been telling me to wrap up for 17 minutes now, and they don't understand that I just be taking the meat out of the smoker right now. So they don't even understand. They don't get it. But anyway, I see you. I see your finger waving. I've seen it for 17 full minutes. I can count too. we got to do this again sometime. Y'all know I'm having someone at the house this weekend. Make sure you're there. We're gonna have some fun. I'm making ribs and I'm smoking a turkey, a 22-pound turkey too. So I'm gonna kill it this weekend.
So you don't want me over there because you know I'm vegan. So you don't want me over there.
Come on, man.
You remember the last time you cooked out? You remember what you gave me?
It's not my fault. This is what happens when we get these new black people, right? Why don't you want something to die in order to eat it? It's a natural order of things, brother.
Yo, G, he had salad for me, G. I thought you might have been there.
What am I supposed to do? The best you can. Dry ass hamburger. It's not even a real hamburger. Like, you're like, here, I'll eat this. Come on, June. It looks like sawdust. Like, I don't even feel right serving that to you.
Well, I took a hamburger bun, G. I took a hamburger bun with lettuce and tomato and some red onion, little salt and pepper. And that's what he had.
No. This weekend I got you. Look, this weekend I got you. I'm gonna make some smoked macaroni and cheese. I ain't gonna put no meat in it. I'm gonna do some other things for you. I got you. I'm telling you, you're gonna be straight. I'm gonna tell you, you're gonna be straight. And now most of the other stuff is the rest of us are carnivores, so the rest of the stuff is gonna have died. It's gonna die. It's gonna have died. And I'm telling you, when you see what I do to those ribs, I'm telling you now, what you're going to do is you're going to reconsider this vegan thing. You're going to reconsider.
Listen, it's been since 1995, bro. 1995. I don't think I'm turning back anytime soon.
All right, man. Well, we'll pour out a little barbecue sauce for you.
I'm going to have some turkey. I'm definitely going to have some turkey and ribs.
Yeah, yes, you are. You saw
Come on, G. Don't do me like that, G.
Yeah, I got to eat
G. Don't do
mine.
me like that.
it. G, you saw
I'm
it.
gonna have a salad first, though.
I'm not. I'm not. If you see something green on my plate, it's likely a grasshopper. Kill it. All right, y'all. I love y'all.
All right.
Love you more, bro.
All right.
All right, peace.
Peace out.
G, love you.
All right, brother.